somebody's got to stop. Somebody's got to stop them and have that conversation, that brave conversation. And I think it starts with this platform, with what you all are on right now.
Jordan?
Oh, there you are. Gosh, just to Julie, to Miss Logan's point, showing people, that there's better. And I think a key thing in the same spirit and vein about community and these authentic relationships, I think a key thing of that is being present. I think Joshua mentioned it first about meet people where they're at. It makes sense that people are where they are for a reason, and sometimes it's not always their choice, but it's a response to a situation that they're in. And it's important to speak to those specific things, like what you're selling that isn't popcorn. There are other things you can sell. Let me show you if you're willing. This does not have to be the only option. I just want to let you know. And it's two ways. Like, trust is two ways. Be, for those who have that wisdom and experience and the knowledge and know-how, be trustworthy. And for those who are receiving that help, like, place faith in folk. There are people that do care and want to help. And the key thing is building that trust. And it takes a community effort. I think about the question about, like, the importance about supporting businesses and supporting people in general. On one end, we're all people and we bleed red, but that doesn't excuse ignoring the specific circumstances that affect each community specifically. There's a reason you have, especially in Charlotte, it's like 5 or more different types of Chamber of Commerce. It's because the Chamber of Commerce has failed to address specific issues for those specific business owners that just so happen to be Black, Latino, LGBT, Asian, and so on and so forth. And so until there's a recognition and respect of that, I think intersectionality is the word that comes to mind for me. I think respecting and acknowledging that as you support businesses and people from whichever avenue, just acknowledging it, I think that's where we can genuinely start cultivating this community we're all talking about. And again, I think that takes trust, placing faith in people or in faith in businesses, even if they aren't exactly as perfect or as good as your mainstream stuff. I think it's important to still place that faith in those smaller businesses, that they too will grow and improve. And like, it takes that trust to then build it.
And Joshua, I think you agree with this, is knowledge is power, right? So if you have a platform, you can meet people where they're at, then that makes a difference. But you also have to meet people who accept where they're at and trust that you may not have all the answers for their path, but you can get them started on their journey. So that's another thing we have to look at too. And then that generational thing. Some of the people look at us, oh, she old school, she don't know what she's talking about. It ain't going, just because it went that way with her, it ain't gonna work that way with me. Well, then, you just took yourself out of the game. And you
know what I think?
A little harder. Martin?
You know what I think a lot of people, to piggyback on how you ended, how people take themselves out of the game mentally when you offer them an actual solution, not an overall solution, because the one solution that you offer them is not going to solve everything that's wrong in their life. But a lot of people don't understand, and I have a daughter, and she's 21 now, and I just reiterated to her time after time after time, in her successes as well as her failures, you still have to put the work in.
Mm-hmm.
And with some of this younger generation that we can't reach, or it seems harder to reach because they won't listen. We all seem like the prehistoric dinosaurs that we looked at our uncles as, when they were actually passing down wisdom. And at the time that they were passing down wisdom, you were like, what does that mean? But then later on in your adult year, when it all clicked and it made sense, then it makes sense. So now we have to help them. We have to help this younger generation make sense.
Mm-hmm.
you know, and you have, sometimes you just have to tell them. I know what I'm saying right now doesn't make sense to you right now, but tell me and trust me, if you try this, it'll work.
I agree.
I think just to piggyback off of that, I got two examples. My daughter from my wife, she's 26, and she stays with us, and she's going to college right now. And then I have a friend, because I'm always, with just my heart, I'm always helping. So I always give guys who coming out of prison jobs with my trucking company. So I got a guy, gave me a call. He was like, yo, bro, I'm sleeping in my car. I don't know what to do. I don't want to go back to the old life. So I'm like, all right, bet. So get him up here, get him a job with the trucking company. I put him in a house in less than 30 days, had a house, 2-bedroom house, backyard, never had a house in his entire life. Nobody in his family ever had a house in his entire life. Got a job making $1,000 a week. So time goes on and I'm like, yo, check in with me. Let me know what's going on. Exactly what we're talking about. What can a brother do for me? So sometimes, even in fatherhood, just Father's Day just passed. And I told my family, I said, one thing that sometimes I don't think plays into the effect of the minds of people is the fact that when we are trying to be fathers of those men who never had an example of what that looks like.
Wow.
So if I never had an example of what a father is, because my father, I don't know my father. My grandfather was a great man, but I didn't see him be a father. I saw him be a pastor. I saw him be a leader. I saw him with Colin Powell. I saw him NAACP. I saw him from that standpoint, but I didn't see him be a father. So I don't know what a father looks like. I have no idea what that is. So I have to take bits and pieces from people to try to design what a father is. And it goes back to these examples that I'm using here between my daughter and my brother who I'm helping out. He ended up getting another guy, trying to bring him down and pretty much trying to mimic what I was doing, right? In his own way, but he wasn't ready, right? So he cut me out the equation and said, okay, you gave me this, but now I'm getting ready to do this on my own, right? So he ended up falling on his face, needless to say, and he called me. And when he called me, I talked to him and I said, bruh, I'm giving you the blueprint, bruh. I'm gonna give you ain't gotta pay for none of this. People gonna try to make you pay for this, bruh. And his words to me were, but I didn't want it easy, bro. I wanted to know what it felt like to struggle. Those was his words to me. And it broke my heart because I had to think back and I said, bro, I did 12 years in prison. You did 10, bro, right beside me. Ain't that enough struggle for you, bro? Ain't that enough? How come you can't see how God has sent you an angel so you ain't gotta go through that no more? But in the mentality, our mentality sometimes as Black men, whether we reach the top or not, sometimes our motivation is the fact that people don't believe in us. Our motivation is, well, I came from nothing. Our motivation is, well, I got it from nothing and now I can do it. We have the wrong things motivating us. Because when the pain is gone, now what? Now what push you? Now what give you the drive, right? So learning how to be a father, my daughter, she has a dad, and she came to me the other day. She wants to start her business. She's very timid. She's very scared. And I told her she has to be a risk taker. In things in life, you got to be a risk taker. Everything ain't 1, 2, 3, ABC, because she's very calculated. When I say calculated, I mean to the T, to the penny. You hear me? And she don't want to miss a penny. And I said, T, everything don't flow that way in life, sweetheart. It don't. It just don't go that way. And if you miss a penny right here and it throws you off, it's going to be a lot of things in life that throw you off. So as she goes forward, she told me yesterday, she said, you have taught me things. And she loves her father, but that my father that never taught me, because you meet me where I'm at. She's in a generation now where, you know, she's in college and, you know, she ain't fast or nothing like that. She do her, but at the end of the day, I knew how to meet her where she was at. I know how to listen to her music and still get a message through. You know what I mean? I know how to, you know, be doing a TikTok and still get a message through. I might not like the music that I'm hearing, but I know how to reference something all while still, instead of just saying, well, you don't need to be listening to that. And what does that mean to you? Because now in their mind, it's like, oh, here go another history lesson with dad. Oh, here go another history lesson. Instead of just being like, all right, well, how you do this? You go this way like that. That's how you do it. And then it opens them up to being able to receive things from you from a different perspective. You know what I'm saying? And as men, I've learned that I'm going to always, I think my brother Jordan said it, be transparent. I came from a place where if you did something wrong, they was gonna get at you. And vulnerability seen in that environment was a no-no, but I still showed it in that environment. So now that I'm out, I don't care who I'm in front of. I'll cry. I'll do whatever it is that it is, because I know who I am. And because I know who I am, I will tell you my plans, Kamani. I will tell you my plans, Jeffrey. I will tell you my plans, Martin. I will tell you my plans, Jordan, because guess what? Regardless of what anybody's motive is, I know where my heart is. So what I'm releasing, God has allowed me to do. And He's going to trust me to carry it out. So I'm not afraid of what you'll go back and do with it, Jordan, or what you'll go back and do with it, Martin, or what you'll go back and do with it, Jeffrey, or what you'll go back and do with it, Kamani, because guess what? I know who I am. And what's for me is what's for me.
Exactly.
So I've been able to be successful in business by going against sometimes what the status quo is. Well, don't reveal all your secrets. Have some things been stolen from me? Absolutely. Absolutely. But guess what? God gave me more. So with my brothers on this platform and anything else that I'm gonna do, guess what? If I got a state-of-the-art invention and I know I got some brothers on the panel, then guess what? I'm gonna tell you about it. And the reason why I'm gonna tell you about it is because the only way we gonna make a change, Kamani, Jeffrey, Martin, Jordan, we get on this panel, right? And let's just say, for instance, we out and we see some people. And we're like, yo, I seen y'all on that podcast. What y'all doing? And if I can't look at you, Kamani, Jeffrey, Martin, and Jordan, and collectively, we can't give them an answer of what we just got on a panel talking about, but we ain't got nothing going on in real life, we lost our generation. Because they like, oh, they capping. They on there, but they ain't even doing nothing collectively outside of that platform. That was just, they capping. So it's a challenge to us to say, you know what, Kamani, what's up, bro? I'm your new brother. Jeffrey, I'm your new brother. Martin, I'm your new brother. Jordan, let's get on a call and let's figure out what we got to do.
Yeah.
Because I'd be dang if you put me in the public eye and we get caught together and somebody asks, hey, I saw y'all on What Can a Brother Do for Me? What y'all got going on? And we only can talk about what we got going on individually. It's a problem.
Kamani?
I completely agree with that. You know, I coming from kind of a similar background to Joshua, but you know, I lost my father at around 15. So what I started doing naturally was looking at guys around me, older guys, and pulling things from them. You know, like, I mean, whatever it is, how to barbecue, you know, how to tie a tie, you know, just you find things, you pull them all together to develop, or you know, to become what you become. You know, if you're growing up with no access to a father, what that looks like, or limited access in my case of a father figure, you know. But back to what he was saying, I completely agree with it. Like, if we can't come together if we can support each other, if we can put our guards down, like he said, his guard is down. He's sharing his plans. He's been burned before, just like I have. But that didn't stop me, from still working in that role, still inspiring other people, still being there, still listening. We have to still, even if you get burned, because you will, even if there's somebody with malicious intent, because that is going to happen, but they cannot stop you from, being honest, from being there, from showing support, showing love. And when you're able to do things like that, we can be on a panel like this, and we can come up with a component or something new that is helping the community. That is, just like Jeffrey said, like, what do we do now? How do we talk to so many different generations about the same problem? I mean, like, it is, it's ambiguous, but I still feel like it can happen. We just have to be open to receive information. We have to listen to each other, keep our guards down enough so that we can like sit at the table, because, competitive nature, that's already a man thing, but in our community, it's like times 1,000, like we are competing, and we can have the secret sauce that can save the entire community, but we will keep it, so we can say that I did this, I have the secret sauce. And really, it could be an ingredient to that sauce, but if we put it all together, like, maybe it is what saves the community. Maybe it is what lifts us, lifts us up out of this, so I feel like, Joshua, my man, he has a point. Like, Jordan, Jeffrey, Martin, Dion, we all need to come together, and we all need to be able to say, hey, we've had the discussion about it. We've talked about some things, and this is what we are doing to, improve our community. Because you can talk, but you got to be able to put some action behind it. Definitely.
I'll start it off. How's that? Let me start it off.
Good.
I'll start it. I met some great brothers, man. I've been spirited today. If there's anything that I can do for any one of y'all, do not hesitate. I don't want to be the sauce, but I do want to be part of the dish.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And with everything that we have, and with all of the flavors that we have, if we put it on a plate, we can serve. Let's serve the people.
Yeah, I agree. What I was going to say is I appreciate that too, because I know on this panel, Jeff, for my daughter, I know Jeff is someone my daughter can go to. He's like an uncle. Same thing with Dion. Martin, I know you've even talked to my daughter about a little different ideas that she has for her entrepreneur journeys. So I'm looking at men up here now. Jordan, same thing. These men here, knowing they're part of that. They're that extra structure to get outside of what I know that can help her gain knowledge so she can grow. So what Can A Brotha Do for me? You guys are doing it already. You guys are doing it already. Not just for me, but for my daughter, because I know these are people she can trust if mommy's not there. And she knows that these are people who got knowledge that mommy may not have, and she can pick up the phone and call you and talk about it. Jeff will tell you, been almost 30 years, but he don't ask her what she want to talk about, but she knows she can call him, and he's going to pick up the phone. He's going to help out with the resources that he knows. And to me, I think that's, what resonates. Like you're saying, Martin, yeah, let's go ahead and start cooking up the dish. Start getting things rolling. Julie?
Ooh, I'm taking it all in. They pick on me on this platform because I'm always writing notes. I don't have my notebook today, but I got a sticky pad with all kinds of stuff on it. And I was writing down a lot of stuff that you all were saying. But I love the analogy that you used, Martin, about, you got the different flavors on here and bringing the dish together. That's awesome. I think that should happen. I don't think this should be the last that we should see this panel come together to talk about what's on the hearts of men.
Exactly.
It's got to start somewhere, and why not start here? I just want to encourage, as one of the co-hosts, as a female co-host here, just encourage each and every one of you to continue to be the kings that you all were created to be. Step into your power, and also continue to speak your truth at the same time.
No, I agree with that. That's well said, Julie. I concur with what Julie said.
Amen.
So normally when we get down to this part, and this conversation has been so great, and I agree with Julie. I think once a month, you guys let me know when it's going to work. Let's carry this on into the second year of this podcast. And every month we have this getting you guys bring someone else to the table. You know, just say, Letha, we think this person needs to come to the table this month. And then let's move on with it and try to get it going and keep it going. I agree, Julie. Let's keep this going. This is not a one-shot stop. You know, let's keep it going. So we're going to start with last words. Let me see. Joshua, I'll start with you for last words.
Yes.
You know how we roll with the last words. So
I love this. Love it. Love it. Love it. And man, this is definitely something major for me. I was raised by all women all my life. All my life. I got all women in my house. I got a newborn that's a little girl. I just couldn't get a boy. You know what I'm saying? And it's just I'm surrounded around wisdom. I'm surrounded around wisdom, man, and I'm grateful for it. But I also know that I need those men that I can bounce things off of. You know what I mean? I need that strong core of individuals to be able to help. This panel discussion, I believe it was a sense of therapy for us all. I can speak for myself. It definitely was a sense of therapy for me. And being able to just connect with you brothers. I have something that God gave me when I was in prison, and I haven't been able to do it yet because every time that I try to do it by myself, God lets me know that it's bigger than something you can do by yourself. There's a lot of things and ideas that I think God gives us all. And sometimes when he gives it to us, we're so ambitious and we're so driven. And sometimes we get so focused on the work that we don't realize that what God gave us is speaking more to the area of where we need to become stronger at, rather than just us being able to have the capability of doing it. Because he already knows you have the capability of doing it. But he wants to know, do you have the capability to bring other people to bring it further and further and bigger and stronger? So I would love to share that with the brothers and figure out, you know, this is something I've been holding tight to, man. Tight, like super tight, like what he was saying. So tight that I ain't let it out the bag. I'm like, I ain't saying nothing to this. You know, my mom and them, they like, well, son, you gonna have to tell somebody one day what you gonna do with it, son. You just gonna keep, I'm just waiting for the right. And, you know, my mom and everybody always tell you, you know, I think they've been sent them. I just think you ain't paying attention. And I'm so thankful for you, Miss Brown, and this opportunity, because I believe that time is now. I truly believe that time is now. And it speaks to everything that we're talking about here. And it truly can change our community. It truly can change our community. So I look forward to sharing that with the brothers so that we can stop the violence that's going on in the communities, to be able to have our vision. If you look at the George Floyds and you look at all of these things that have happened, the only reason why some of those things were captured is because of somebody else's cell phone. If you look in South Carolina, where we didn't have the ability to have a cell phone there, they got off. If you look anywhere where there was not an outside source of being able to capture what was going on, we lose.